I'm sorry I haven't written to anyone, but I have been quite busy. Uncle Walt, please play this tape so Aunt Esther can hear it also. I would like to thank everybody for making our Christmas this year fantastic. I really enjoyed it, and so did Jack and Mother and Dad also. We always enjoy coming up. Since Dad's anniversary fell on Monday, we had dinner for them at Mother's house on Sunday. We had a 25-pound turkey that I contributed to the dinner. I got the turkey from one of the guys I work with at the Moose. Peg and Shell and Jennifer also came to dinner. It was a fairly okay affair. On Monday night, Daddy took Mother to the Back Door restaurant in West Chicago. They had a real nice time. Mother has been off work for quite some time now. We've really gone round and round with her. That sore under her other breast still has been bothering her, and we finally got the doctor to provide a bone scan. She was very frightened and had to go to Delmer Hospital. I took her there, and the test took all day. We were again afraid it was cancer. She had to go at 11 o'clock in the morning and get a shot of some fluid that would go in her system, and then we had to come back at 2 o'clock for the test. To keep her mind off everything, I took her up to Lee Ward's and we piddled around shopping, and then I took her to dinner. We arrived back at the hospital at 2 o'clock, and I sat in the waiting room from 2 o'clock to 4 while they did the test. The test consists of her laying down in a machine passing over her body very slowly, which she could not move. As it passed certain checkpoints, the technician would tell her that she could now move. They did 2 scans. The first scan went from her top of her body to her toes. The second scan went from her nose or her chin down about her knees. Of course, then we had at least 3 to 4 days to wait for the doctor called her on Sunday to say the test was negative and we assumed that all this pain and stuff was due to advanced arthritis. At least we know now that it's not cancer again. Jackie received a report card and has grades up. She has one incompleted history which she's working on to bring back up. We decided we're going to take our vacation on August 9th through the 27th and go to California. I've asked for the 3 weeks off at work here, but so far my boss won't sign it. I figure I'm going anyway, as I'm going to look for a job when I'm out there. Sometime this month I'm taking a day off, and I'm going with Aunt Edith downtown in Chicago to take a bunch of federal tests. This way I can get on a list, and if there's any jobs I'm looking for, I can check them out. Mom got a new sewing machine from Sears and had also received 10 new lessons. The lesson started last Monday, and I've been taking Daddy's car and drive her down to Fox Valley Shopping Center in Aurora. The lessons are from 7 to 9 o'clock. Except knowing Sears, they got it all screwed up, and we showed up there from 7:30 to 9:30 and found out the classes were 7 to 9. On top of all that, they forgot to tell her to bring a machine, and she's down there with no sewing machine for sewing. Finally got all my W-2 statements and decided to figure my own income tax. Last year I got $300 back, which was great for my vacation. After figuring my tax this year, I found I had $92 coming back. Neither one of my 2 part-time jobs took out any federal income tax. I now have to pay $12 for my state income tax. Since I do claim one dependent on everything, I decided to check with the state and claim no dependents so they take out more money, which would cause me less take-home pay, and in the end of the year I'll have some money saved. At both my other part-time jobs, they do not have to take out any income tax unless I make over $25, and I only make $20. But signing a special form, I can get them to take out at least 10%, which will give me savings. So far, I'm lucky. I have been managing to save some of my hotel checks, so I will have enough money for vacation. And probably since Daddy will be retired by summertime, this will be the last big vacation Jackie and I take with them, because they'll probably be moving or else taking long winter vacations where we can't go with them. January has been quite a sick month. I was off on the 20th and the 21st and half day on the 22nd. The first 2 days I had kind of relief. The second and the third day, Jack went to school and they sent her home, so I didn't know what to do. I'm really not position and make it any higher. And that's why I'd like to take some competitive tests. How is everything going for everybody else? Has the weather been cold up there? Saturday night I went out to the moose, and as I'm cleaning my car off in a kind of a blizzard-like condition, I'm wondering what the hell I'm doing. I could be in California or Florida or someplace with the sunshine, palm trees, and a warm breeze. Still no word from Bill. So far he owes me a couple $1,000, and I doubt very seriously I'll ever get any of it. That's one reason why I'd like to move to California. On the real cold days, my car wouldn't start. I found out I had a dead cell in the battery. So I had to buy a new one for $34. I still need a muffler and tailpipe, but I'm kind of holding out. It sounds like I'm driving a truck, but so does a lot of the other cars that are on the street. Really, it sounds like a large motorcycle going by. And as soon as I can come up with $30, the Boy Scout here will put one on for me. Crazy graphic artist that would car artist has left. She's transferred to the training academy where I used to work. We really had a celebration Friday. She was driving a car. Well, I had some more excitement at the school meeting part of January. We had a bomb. It was a very cold day, and they blew the fire plant, and nobody wanted to go out because it was cold. And finally, we were screaming down below that there was a bomb threatening to attack them. We grabbed everything we could and ran across the street to the other school building, where we stayed till about noon. And finally, after dinner, they said we might as well go home because they were not going to let any of us back into the building. This is the first sort of thing that's happened since I've been here. In fact, the first thing that's ever happened about a bomb scare in any state business. Seems like many tribal business stated that there was a bomb planted in the news where I work, and that the bomb was set to go off in the morning. Well, needless to say, they figured it was a prank, but they still had to follow through. Then, because we always get some bad publicity out of the school here, they didn't want to inform anybody about the bomb scare, and therefore they weren't going to have anybody check the building but the locals did. Finally, they claimed the state police came in to check the building, and the next day they were allowed to go back to work. It was a fun time anyway. Today is a record cold. It's about 18 degrees out here. Since I have a new battery, my car did start. My boss called in, and he has 2 new batteries in his cars, and neither one would start. Of course, he's further west, and that's where most of the cold came from. That's why I'm able to make this recording at work. I will send you postage to send this back to me. Either write me a letter, or much easier, why don't you guys all record, and I think it's something different to do. If you decide not to record a letter on this tape, go ahead and keep it for 1,000 where it came from. If you've got a lot of time and want a real fantastic book to read, and if you do like history, get James A. Michener's Centennial. It's 1,086 pages in paperback for $2.75. It's a fantastic book. It is about Colorado, and this year when we'll be celebrating our bicentennial year, Colorado will be celebrating its centennial year as 100 years old as a state. The book starts out with the beginning of the earth, and then it kind of traces dinosaurs, and then all of a sudden there's beavers, and then they go into the land with the Indians. There's cowboys in it. There's when the sheep herders and the cattlemen had their feuds. Custer's in there. It's kind of a half history and half fiction story. It works on up to the present, and it's really a very interesting book, one I think everybody would enjoy. I started giving Mother the library copy to read while I read my paperback, and of course it didn't intrigue her about the dinosaurs, but you've got to read that part to understand how the state was formed and how everything evolved from the dinosaurs and on up. So I could call the dentist. I had a couple of teeth fixed last month, and it was some fried potatoes. And suddenly part of my tooth broke off, or part of the filling. The other tooth he filled a while back with this one. I think I have an abscess on it, but I'm so afraid of the dentist I keep putting it off. Looks like now I've got it. My blood pressure down, but my weight keeps going up. I don't understand what it is. I'm hungry all the time, and I know I'm good on time. But I seem to just eat. I know I was a lot nervous at work here with this crazy graphic artist we have. And the way my boss all of a sudden was starting to slide in with her. to now that she's gone, maybe things will be better. We had a school board meeting about 2 weeks ago, and I was elected to take the minutes. I do not take short notes, but they had this tape over so all I had to do was just write down some of the highlights. It took me 3 days after the meeting to finish the minutes. I got it done with the street, and now there's some questions from back in the meeting, and now all of a sudden I got the tapes back, and I've got to go through them and find out what the questions are and then seems like it'll be another 3 days. What really made me mad about it is the person I'm doing these minutes for is the boss that didn't want me to have a promotion. I told my own boss that they had a hell of a lot of nerve, but again, all he says is, well, that's your job to be able to ask you to do, no matter what your concentration is. Now I must close the number to one side of this tape, so if you've got some time, put some stuff on the tape or else both of you write me a letter. Jackie says thank you, Inez, for the money you sent. She really put it to good use. She's been bowling at school every Monday. They go to the bowling alley and I took her out. I think this will go on for about a month and a half, so she's really enjoying it. Sessions are $1.25 each time, and once in a while they make her add something over to it. Usually night I took her out to dinner at the Checkmate in town. Seems like we're never doing too much together because I'm only working 2 nights a week and then all weekend. I am home Monday night, other than when I take Mother to the cinema on Tuesday. Usually I spend on Saturday and then home on Sunday night, so I am home quite a bit. But we never seem to do anything. Just sit and watching television. Well, I must close for now. I hope everybody is well. I hope to hear from you. With love, Barbara. February 2nd, 1976. I haven't written to anyone, but I have been quite busy. Uncle Walt, please play this tape so Anesta can hear it also. I'd like to thank everybody for making their Christmas this year fantastic. I really enjoyed it, and so did Jack. Always been nice for me. Since Mother's and Dad's anniversary fell on Monday, we had dinner for them at Mother's house on Sunday. We had a 25-pound turkey that I contributed to the dinner. I got the turkey from one of the guys I work with at the Roots. Peggy, Michelle, and Jennifer also came to me. It was a fairly on Monday night, Daddy put Mother in the back door and around me and discussion. They had a real nice time. Mother has been on board for quite some time now. We've really gone round and round with her. That sore from her other breast still has been bothering her, and we finally got the doctor to provide a bone scan. She was very frightened and had to go to Delmer Hospital. I took her there, and the test took all day. We were again afraid it was cancer. She had to go at 11 o'clock in the morning and get a shot of some fluid that would go in her system, and then we had to come back at 2 o'clock for the test. To keep in mind of everything, I took her up to New Orleans and we piddled around shopping, and then I took her to dinner. We could drive back to the hospital at 2 o'clock, and I sat in the waiting room from 2 o'clock to 4 while they did the test. The test consists of her laying down in a machine passing over her body very slowly, which she could not move. Past certain checkpoints, the technician would tell her that she could now move. They did 2 scans. The first scan went from her top of her body to her toes. The second scan went from her nose or her chin down about her knees. Of course, then we